Let them come.
Hey everyone, this is ROTB, and here we have Rhinox from Transformers Rise of the Beasts. And Rhinox here is one of the more trickier Maximals for me to make. It was very difficult for me to capture his bulk in both modes. And he has around 660 parts, somewhere between the piece count of Optimus Primal and Optimus Prime. Like with the rest of my Rise of the Beast builds, they are free PDF instructions on Fabricable. There's a link in the description below or in my pinned comment, so you can mess around and have fun with this guy. It'll be interesting to see him in his Beast Wars colors, like the dark tan and the green and some of the gold. And let's start off with Rhinox in his Beast mode as a chunky rhinoceros. And spinning him around, he's basically a giant gray blob, but there's some darker tan, more for the robot mode here. And get this out of the way, Rhinox has the worst beast mode out of all the Maximals I've made. And he looks okay from the front, with the head is very nice, as well as this hunched area. But once you turn to the back, this area is very awkward. It's like he's missing a chunk of the beast mode. His leg kind of angles backwards, because this back section is basically supposed to be like a big brick, like a giant rectangle. But it's just kind of weird how the legs angle backwards and you just have the tail just hanging out here. But it's definitely worth it for the robot mode. And to start with his head, I really like how this turned out. It's very intricately designed. You got the two horns, you got the little ears, and his eyes have a nice glow with the sand green. And the back armor plating is very nice, using these slopes here to fill things in. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to get these shoulder shells in a lighter gray color. They don't come in that color yet. And the front legs are way too spread out. They should be compacted a bit more. And like I said before, the back is very awkward. His tail is just chilling right there. But one thing I really like is for his four limbs, I made an effort to get all of his hooves in place. You can see I represented them with these smaller tiles. And turning into the bottom, there's some robot parts, but it looks very nice. And his articulation is very fun. Of course, his head's on this ball joint and another joint here, so he kind of do like the Rhino charge thing. And you can also wiggle his ears, more for transformation, but that's also cute. And his mouth is very fun. You can open the smaller section just like this, or there's an extra joint where you can open all this out to reveal his glowing throat here. Unfortunately, there's no tongue, but it still looks very cool. The front legs are on larger ball joints here, as well as a smaller bend here. I guess some pivot, and you can move the toes like that. His rear legs are kind of static. You can also move it around just ever so slightly, but he's basically a big brick. For a size comparison, here we have a minifigure and Ravage, Studio Series Bumblebee, and the high-grade Demi Trainer. And here he is with his Studio Series toy, which looks a lot more like a Rhino. And for my builds, here he is with Optimus Prime, and here he is with his fellow Maximals, Cheetor and Optimus Primal. Just one to go now. These three look really nice together, and I guess these are the three remaining Maximals by the end of the movie. And for fun, here he is next to Wheeljack, so you can recreate the scene when they first meet. Finally, here he is with RC, and you can have RC riding on top. Now every Transformers fan is jealous of Rhinox. And now for the transformation. It's really fun and very similar to the Studio Series toy, as you would expect. Start first, we're going to rotate the ears down, like this. Then rotate this horn section, and fold this upwards. And coming over to here, open the shoulder pad here, and on this extra joint, bring all this upwards, and take this flap here, rotate it around, and tuck this under the armpit. Same for this side. And stand the whole Rhino up, and then take all this here and fold it back. And these sections, you rotate this section here, and you keep rotating them out. And you fold up the little horn, like that. And you just want to get these arms out of the way. And coming over to here, take this section here and pull this section up, and this will reveal the robot head. And then you can take this side section over here, rotate it, and this will become the chest plates and this extra Technic joint. And next you want to come to the Rhino head, straighten this back out on this joint, And there's a series of joints here. You're going to fold all this up and make sure the ear is not in the way. Fold all this upwards. And then coming over to the front here, you want to make sure this horn just starts to push inwards. And then the actual armature that supports the head will fold over the horn like that. And then you can fold the front and then fold the chest plates in. Then you come to the back here, fold all this upwards, and then fold the tail to kind of represent the spine. And coming to the hoof, fold this down, fold out the actual hand. And on this extra joint, you want to unfold this and unfold that and bring all this together and fold up the front of the hoof like that. And same for the other side, unfold the arm and rotate this section and rotate this section together. Finally the feet, bend them down at the knees here and take this little flap in the back, rotate it to the front and bring up the knee pad, fold this up, and then finally the feet, you gotta fold the section down to cover up the hooves and fold these panels back just like that, and standing him up and getting the shoulder pads into position. Here's Rhinox in his robot mode. As you can see, he is quite an absolute unit. I like how much the dark tan shows up to add a little bit of accent color. And unfortunately, due to his robot mode screen time, I mostly based him off the YOLO Park model kit, as you see here. Starting off with the head, I tried my best with it. It doesn't look too good. It honestly looks more like a Clone Trooper helmet. But this is easily the hardest head I've had to work with from this movie. I guess second would be Battle Traps. But I like how I was able to get kind of like a resemblance of his thick eyebrows and nose, as well as a little crest on the top. Coming to his chest, it's very well done. I like how many angles are going around for the torso section, and his abs are very nice too. His arms are very nice with the shoulder piece once again, and they're very bulky and powerful looking. Back is very nice with the two weird horns sticking out, as well as a tail I tried to make into a spine. As you can see, the whole rhino head is completely gone here. And the legs here are really fun to design. Unfortunately, that leads to the rear of the rhino mode looking kind of awkward, but there's a lot of cool angles and curves and little spikes here and there. His articulation is very good. He shares a very similar frame to Primal. The head, of course, can look up and down, and the shoulders can move in. Moving out the shoulder pads, you can bend the arm out like this. And here's his elbow can do a double bend here, as well as a ball joint at the wrist. And for his waist, you can move the front skirts out of the way for more articulation. And he has some articulation at these hip panels. And of course, some movement at the hips, bend at the knee, and lots of movement at the ankle here. So it's very fun to pose. And you can get him into a kind of fighting stance. And the classic dab. For fun taking off the entire side panel of the chest, you could see it's just pure Technic for extra strength. And you can kind of see how the rhino head hides in there. His only weapon is his giant trusty hammer here. This is pretty fun to design, and you can see a lot of the green highlights that it has. And his hand can clip into any points along the hammer, but it's best held in the middle like this. He looks ready to smash up some Terrorcons. You can also grip the hammer with two hands. For a size comparison, here he is with the minifigure and Ravage, Studio Series Bumblebee, and the Zaku 2 F2. Here he is with his Studio Series toy. For my builds, here he is with Mirage and RC. And with Optimus Prime, he's about like a plate shorter, so about the same size. Finally, here he is next to Primal and Cheetor, and now we have the three Maximals from the final battle. As you can see, Rhinox is a little bit taller than Cheetor and smaller than Primal. And that is it for this video. I really hope you enjoyed Rhinox, this chunky lad here. It was a very fun design, and the robot mode really stands out, though the Rhino mode is kind of atrocious, especially towards the back. As always, the free PDF instructions are unrebrickable. And for my next video, I think you know who's next. I only have 3 Maximals here, and I'm just missing the 4th. And that one is actually going to be my final build for my Rise of the Beast lineup. I'll see you guys then.